Awesome question. How do you collect just frass without the risk of eggs? In order to do that, you want to make sure that the frass you're collecting has never had a beetle in that tray in the last 2 to 3 months, depending on your environment conditions. You want to make sure that whatever eggs that are in there have hatched and are big enough that they're not going to go through the mesh that you're using to sift out your frass. In the event of getting behind, like unfortunately we've done in the last week, which is my fault, I did some changing and some tweaking to the horizontal sifter there, trying to get it to be more efficient, tackle a couple of things we were having problems with, and I ended up just making it worse. And so we got behind. And so now we've got pupa that have actually hatched into beetles, and those beetles could have potentially laid eggs. So the frass we're collecting here, in that scenario, what I'm going to do is I'm going to store it, and then I'm going to let any of those eggs hatch out and resift it later if we need to. If we don't need to, like, it's perfectly fine frass to use, and it's highly unlikely that anything that's in there is going to proliferate or infest something, or start a colony somewhere if you broadcast it in your garden, on your lawn, in some other way. And so if we find a way to use that frass and not have to resift it, then we won't. But if we do, we'll let the mealworms grow 1 to 2 months just to make sure they get big enough. And then we'll sift them out of that frass to make sure there's nothing in there. So avoid that by not having beetles in the containers that you're going to collect your frass in for about 1 to 2 months, and then you should be fine.